Hi everybody, it's Nia, aka the Bookish Dryad, here to do my August TBR. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've actually posted anything up, done any videos of any sort or kind. But my life's been catching up to me, and I haven't had much time to do much of anything. But right now things seem to be leveling out, and hopefully I can start really getting into at least booktubing while I read. And I do post stuff up on. I've canceled out my blog, but I'm gonna start posting stuff on my Tumblr, and I'll probably leave a post down in the dungeon below. But let me get started. Actually, before I get started, this TBR is going to be kind of split up into sections. It's 4 books and 4 graphic novels. 2 of the books I'm going to be listening to through audiobook. 2 of them I'm just going to be regularly reading, and then the 4 graphic novels are graphic novels. So let's start. First off, we have The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. Now, as you can see, I already have this tabbed out, and that's what I do when I read. I'll tab every couple pages, and that's what I read to that day. And it helps me kind of have a goal to read to, and helps me really kind of buckle down when I read, so that I can, get it finished in a timely manner. But I'm going to be listening to this through audiobook, through Audible, of course. And I really do suggest going to Audible and using that free trial first book, and seeing if you like it, because though it may be a little bit expensive, you have to think versus how much audiobooks normally are, that actually is a really, really good deal. And also, for me, I've found in books that I haven't really been able to click with, or I don't know, just connect with, an audiobook really does help. I listened to the first book, Raven Boys, through audiobook, and I loved it. It was a totally different experience listening to it through it than reading it by myself. I don't know really how to explain it. It's just it makes everything pop a little more. The person who reads the Dream Thieves series, which I cannot remember their name, and maybe I will remember it, and maybe I'll post it down in the dungeon again, but he brings out a lot of the voices, and it's kind of funny. He has this really deep, grizzly Southern accent, and then when he does a Southern woman's voice, it's hilarious because it actually sounds like a Southern woman's voice. Or it sounds effeminate. And then also, I love when he voices Ronan, because I love Ronan, and his voice kind of is the perfect match for him. Yeah. So yeah, the Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater, and definitely I really do suggest listening to the audiobook. Listen to it, try it, it's so good, at least to me. Next up is Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This is another one. This is a book that I first got a while ago, when it first came out, and I started to read it, and I liked it, I loved it, and then my life caught up with me, and I had to put down my books or stop what I was reading and then deal with stuff in my life. Yeah, and that happens a lot to me. I can't really say anything to it. When life catches up to you, you have to deal with life before you can get back into your books. But this is another one that I'm gonna be reading with the assistance of an audiobook. or listening to, I should say, not really assisting me reading, but I'm going to be listening to. I don't remember the sound, the person who reads it. I don't remember the sound of his voice, so I can't tell you if it was good or not. I know it is a guy. I remember it's a guy, but I can't remember much else from that. And also, I'm reading this because I want to read the graphic novel, which is also in my TBR. And then I want to read Hollow Cities, which recently came out. And I actually will be getting it again. I will be getting it in hardback because I actually like... I'm not big on hardbacks, but I actually like the feel of this hardback. This is a hardback that doesn't feel like Dream Thieves. I don't know, they have a different feel, or maybe it's just that I'm weird, but this is another one I'll be listening to, and I can't wait. This is actually one I really am excited for, as well as Dream Thieves. Now, on to the two I'm going to be reading regularly. First up is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. So, I'm reading this for a couple of reasons. One, this is a book I've had for a while. No, not a while. Maybe a year, more or less. And again, this is like most of my books. I've started it, but life caught up to me and I had to put it down. It's probably when I was reading 2 at a time. This is why I don't read. This is why you shouldn't read 2 books at a time. But anyway, it's a really good book. As far as it was funny. Then that's what I liked about it. It was It wasn't all grit and seriousness. It was really funny. It had a lot of comedic elements to it. Especially with the relationship between Howl and Sophie, or Grandma Sophie, in the beginning. But that's neither here nor there. That's from what I remember. Number 2, of course, I've watched. Being the huge anime geek I am, I've watched the anime for it, and I love the anime for it. It is a really, really, really good anime. Hayao Miyazaki, of course, and this is me probably generalizing, but I think Hayao Miyazaki is a staple in the anime community. And 3, which brings me to my third point, is that besides the fact that Hayao Miyazaki has retired, of course, I've recently, I think I just today heard that Studio Ghibli's going to be dying. Studio Ghibli's going to be closing down after When There Was Marina, and that's going to be that movie that they're coming out with. That's out in Japan. That actually has already come out. It came out in July 19th of this year in Japan, so I'm not quite sure when we're going to get it in America. But that's going to be that's going to be Studio Ghibli's last movie. And then after When There Was Marina is done, then they're closing their doors. Or at least for the anime, there's going to be no more animation coming from Studio Ghibli, which is heartbreaking. And that's because, for me, Studio Ghibli was my childhood. It's what got me into anime. It's one of the reasons I got into anime. So to see something like that closed down is really just sad. But yes, Hayao Miyazaki. Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. Then, for the last reading books, or novels, I guess you would say, is going to be Delirium by Lauren Oliver. Now, I started this book, and I just didn't get into it. I didn't get into it. I think it was because I felt like the relationship kind of got really too mushy, and I kind of got tired of it really quickly. But I'm actually going to try and reread this, mainly because Lauren Oliver just made a series out of this book, through Wigs, which they are a production team, production team, I'm not sure which one, but they do series like you would see on TV, TV quality production, or online, and it's going to be hosted through Hulu. And I actually want to read this series and see how I like it, and then watch it on Hulu. Because for me, I am not big. I think that all manga, all authors, especially YA authors, should be going towards different, moving to a different type of production besides movies, making their books into movies. Do a series, do an animation. Stop the movies, because there are a lot of them just popping out of nowhere, and it's kind of getting tiring. And I'm not big on book movies, so yeah. Now on to the graphic novel version portion. That's the word. I'm going to be reading Dawn of Arcana by Rai Toma. This is, I'll show you in all of them each. This is the first one, this is the second one, and then this is the third one. And this is still an ongoing series, so I have the first 3 of the whole series. I've read 1 and 2, but I have not read 3, and I'm just going to reread it all and then see how I like it, and then just start back up from there. And what I remember from when I read it was so good. It was amazing. It's one of the better shoujo manga, because of course this is produced by Shoujo Beat, and it's not like your normal mushy gushy shoujo manga. It actually is a lot more of a high fantasy, and it's more action packed than normal Shoujo Beat manga. Princess Nabika is awesome. She's kind of one of those badass girl characters that we all love to read about. So, yep, that's going to be the 3 manga I'm going to be reading for this month. And then, last but not least, is Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the graphic novel. Yeah. I love the art, and with me and manga and graphic novels, it's a lot about the art for me. If I don't like the art, I'm more than likely not going to read it. And I think I've read the girl who does this, the art for this, Cassandra Jean. I think I've read one of her online comics, and her online comics are amazing. And if I remember what it is and remember where to find it, I'm going to put it down in the link below. But I really do remember that this was a really, really, really good. The artist is really, really good. I have not read the graphic novel because I haven't finished Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I'm not going to read this until I finish that. But I like when I'm seeing, because I read a lot of web comics. When I see people who do the web comics, people who post their art online, and I see them getting things like this, or with I can't remember the artist's name, and I feel so bad because I read her comic religiously, but she did the art for Fangirl. Yeah. I read her comic. She has 2 different comics. One is Lumberjanes, which I've heard fantastic things about, and I plan on actually reading pretty soon. I'm going to be buying it and reading it. And then she does Nimona. Nimona. She does Nimona, and that is an amazing. She's actually ending it soon. I'm not sure if it's done yet. I usually read it in bulk, so I'm going to be catching it up to it. So actually, after I'm done this video, but she does an amazing art. She's really good at storytelling, and her art is very unique. But like I said, again, if I remember her online handle, Cassandra Jane's online handle, and if I can find her webcomic, I definitely going to put it into the doobly-doo. But that is the last of the books I'm going to be reading for August, and I thank you guys for reading. Have a great day. Bye.